Hi Allison, Coach White. I'm going to do your analysis and compare you with Jenny Finch on the right over here. and so we can see that Jenny's already partway through her motion or wind up here, but her weight is going to go from the back. You see where her hips are at, and she's going to shift those hips to the front and then create this really good attack position off the pitching rubber. And we can see that we've got a good right angle here with this front leg, weights into the ball of the foot. So her weight right now is over the top of her knee here and it's loaded into her legs, and she's compressed the muscle and getting ready to really drive off the pitching rubber. So your weight right now is into the front, and we're going to shift the weight back. It's a great job. And then as you swing back, you're going to shift weight forward, and right at that point right there. And so right now we can see that this knee is not quite ahead of this front foot, and that you're a little too more vertical at this point. If I take some angles here, and if I take this down to this point and then take it across, we can see that her angle is a 30-degree lean. So obviously this is 90 degrees up here, and then so she's leaning at 30 degrees. And so if we take that same angle and we go down, okay, and we go out, we're going to see that the lean is 19 degrees. So she's got almost twice as much of a lean forward. So what that does is just puts her into a better attacking position. Okay, so just something to think about. So arms are furthest part back as your furthest part forward, so it's really good. Now what Jenny's going to do is she's going to start coming forward with her glove hand, ball hand, and stride leg are all going to work out together at this point. And we can see that this leg is still real activated. It's still compressed and it's getting ready to spring and drive her out. We can see this leg here is going to get ready to kick out now and create some height. And she's going to use the glove hand, the ball hand, and stride leg all together. Yeah, and if we can kind of see that same kind of thing, so everything starts coming out together, and there's our same position right there. And then as you continue to come out, there's our foot height, which is really good. Good job there. I think we're starting to push up this back leg. Shoulders are forward, so you're thinking about going forward before you're opening up. And then as we take Jenny up to the same position, we can see that, watch that back leg start to push, and she's going to start leaving the rubber. The rubber's right here, and so she's starting to leave that pitching rubber. Slide back here a little bit. You can definitely see the height here. She's reaching forward, trying to create as much distance forward as possible and as quick as possible. Now let's take her up. So then as she starts to come up, there's that push off the back rubber. You can really see that back foot starting to leave the pitching rubber. And then as she rotates her arm open, her shoulders get open. She's extending the glove towards the catcher. Good height on this front foot here. And then she's starting to take this back leg with her and drag on the inside part of her foot or toe was the better spots. But we can see we're bringing it with us so that this elbow and knee are in vertical alignment here. We can see the arm is nice and relaxed. Okay, and we can see that if we wipe all this off, that her weight distribution is 60% back and 40% forward. And so that's what this enables her to do off this peak height here, is as she's falling down, is to get that weight shift occurring and using the falling momentum to help throw the pitch. Okay. So let's see what happens now as we start to come up. So, and then one thing there is you can see this foot start to twist. Now when that twists, it's going to twist your hips. It's going to get you in a slightly weaker position. Usually what happens, this back leg locks out and this foot will turn backwards as well. We can see the glove is going this way. We want to keep that glove going forward. Okay, the shoulders are open and the hips are open. So, that's a good job there, but just be aware of this foot twisting. Okay, now as Jenny starts to come down, we can see that everything's going to work back together. So the glove hand's starting to come down. This is going to start coming down. The back knee is going to start driving in. It's going to shift the hips underneath the head. And she's going to push back this way and create a firm front side. So as we come down into that 3/4 position right there. Now as you start coming forward, you can see You can see that leg is locked out here and this foot is starting to turn backwards. You see the angle of his front foot, and we get down into that 3/4 position. Okay. Weight is still slightly back at center. We want to start driving that forward, and of course if this leg is not flexed and driving through, it's hard to do. But there's the key positions. Okay. All right. So now what Jenny's going to do is continue to keep driving with the back leg here. She's going to firm this up so the head doesn't move a whole lot further forward from this point. It moves forward slightly, but just to maintain balance. And we can see that at this point, this arm is hitting the elbow, this elbow to the hip, and it stabilizes the upper arm. Now as we continue to whip through here, we'll see the upper arm is to there, the lower arm's to there. Take it one more step here, and we see the upper arm is to there, and the lower arm's there. So we can see how far the lower arm has traveled compared to the upper arm. And that's what we call sequencing or whipping action. Okay? And we can really see that there. We can see that she's maintaining balance here, that she's pushing back against herself, creating a firm front side, just like we would in hitting. And this knee is going to continue to drive underneath her body. We can see that it's nice and bent and relaxed. And she's working underneath her hips underneath her head here. So now as we start to come down, okay, everything's come back together pretty good. And we're coming through. It's hard to see, you know, of course we don't get enough frames per second inside, but it's hard to see the whipping action. But and there's your position there. Now a little back is center here, but it's not too bad. Just let's see a little more drive there if we can. Try to lock this leg out, keep it firm but flexed if we can. It definitely needs to be firm, but pretty good position. Okay, looks like a strong position at release here. And then as you snap through, you follow through, keep driving through. So yeah, really good job. I like your mechanics. They're pretty good. We just get a little more explosive. I think as you get bigger and stronger, it's certainly going to help you. But good job overall. Really good mechanics. So let's take a look now as we come out. Yeah, good job. Yeah, just try to get a little more whip, work those fingers through the ball to complete the whip. But great basis for growth and to get better. Let's take a look at you know, Jenny's mechanics or pitching motion from the side here, and just a little bit aggressive position. You see the distance she creates. Now don't look at the end here. If we look at the end, okay, you would say that her shoulders never came through. Okay, you'd say, oh man, boy, no follow through. She pulls back off the ball. But let's go back and take a look at that. And you know, we would right at this position here, we can see that her hand is carried outwards, elbows away from her side, and her shoulders are squared up while her hips maintain this angle. And so that's the key position. Now after that, she does something a little bit funky, where she kind of pulls backwards and spins out of the pitch. So you could be misled into thinking that's what we need to do, but we want to continue to drive through, and you're doing a really good job of that. So I just wanted to point out sometimes what we see and what actually happens can be two different things. Let's take one more look here at from the front, and here's your motion from the front. Good distance, good balance, staying in nice and tight. Try to get as tight to your leg as you can. Everything's working pretty well. But yeah, good job. Looks good. Let's take a look at Jenny now. And she's actually throwing what they call a flip drop here. So possibly it could have something to do with her finish. So a good strong position. If we go over here, we can see the same. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, and then there's her finish through. thrown all the way through the ball. Good. Okay, hopefully that helps.